War is usually told through maps, strategies, and political speeches. But war is not experienced on maps. It is experienced inside the human mind. Before a soldier pulls a trigger, before orders are shouted, before explosions tear through the air, something else happens first. The brain changes. Fear sharpens vision. Time slows down. Sound distorts. Thought becomes instinct. We often imagine soldiers thinking about patriotism, ideology, or glory in the middle of battle. Most of the time, they are thinking about something much simpler. Survive. Protect the person next to you. Make it through the next minute. In this video, we're not analyzing weapons or strategy. We're entering the psychological battlefield. What does fear actually feel like during combat? Why does time seem to slow down? Why do some soldiers feel calm in chaos? And what thoughts pass through the mind when death feels close enough to touch? War is not just fought with bullets. It is fought inside the nervous system. And what happens there changes a person forever. War is not experienced in grand strategy. It is experienced in fragments. A sound, a smell, a split-second decision that feels both instant and eternal. Inside the mind of a soldier during combat, reality narrows. The brain shifts from narrative thinking to survival thinking. Long-term consequences disappear. Philosophy disappears. Even identity can blur. What remains is immediate calculation. Where is the threat? Where is cover? Who is still moving? One of the least discussed psychological realities is how quickly morality becomes compressed into reflex. In civilian life, decisions are layered with context and reflection. In combat, hesitation can mean death. The brain learns to prioritize speed over contemplation. Soldiers often report that during intense firefights, they were not thinking in full sentences. They were reacting to shapes, motion, sound patterns. Thought becomes primitive. Another overlooked aspect is sensory distortion. Many combat veterans describe auditory exclusion, gunshots sounding distant or muffled. Others report tunnel vision, so extreme that peripheral awareness disappears. Some experience time dilation, where seconds feel stretched and detailed. This is not imagination. Under extreme stress, the brain reallocates resources. It enhances what it believes is necessary for survival and suppresses what is not. The world becomes edited in real time. There is also the phenomenon of emotional delay. In the middle of battle, fear does not always feel like fear. It can feel like clarity, cold focus, almost mechanical calm. The emotional impact often arrives later, minutes, hours, sometimes years afterward. During the event, many soldiers describe something unexpected, boredom mixed with terror. Combat is rarely constant action. It is long periods of waiting punctuated by sudden chaos. The mind swings between hyper-alertness and restless anticipation. That fluctuation is exhausting. The brain never fully relaxes, even when nothing is happening. One rarely discussed thought pattern during combat is statistical thinking. Some soldiers report mentally calculating odds in strange ways. If it hasn't hit me yet, maybe it won't. Or the opposite. My luck must run out soon. The brain searches for patterns and randomness to regain a sense of control. Control is psychological oxygen in war. Without it, fear escalates. Another hidden reality is how quickly empathy can shut down. Not permanently, not completely, but temporarily. In moments where survival demands action, the brain may reduce emotional response to suffering, even visible suffering. This is not cruelty, it is compartmentalization. If full empathy remained active in every second, functional movement would collapse. Afterward, that compartment reopens. And sometimes it opens all at once. There is also the internal conflict between training and instinct. Training says move forward, clear the room, protect the unit. Instinct says survive. Most of the time, training wins because it has been rehearsed thousands of times. But the friction between those two forces creates enormous psychological strain. Soldiers sometimes describe feeling like two minds operating at once. One executing protocol, the other whispering fear. Another rarely acknowledged curiosity, humor in the middle of chaos. Dark humor appears frequently in combat environments. It is not disrespect, it is neurological pressure release. The brain uses laughter to reduce cortisol, to reclaim a sense of humanity in inhuman circumstances. Then there is the concept of shrinking future. During sustained combat exposure, the sense of long-term future can diminish. Soldiers sometimes stop imagining life years ahead. Focus compresses to the next hour, the next patrol, the next sunrise. Living without extended future projection changes how the mind organizes hope. Perhaps one of the most psychologically complex experiences is the moment immediately after surviving an attack. Relief floods in, but it is often followed by an unsettling awareness. It could have been me. This is where the mind quietly begins rewriting meaning. Why did I survive? Was it skill? Luck? Fate? Randomness? The brain struggles with randomness. It wants causality. It wants narrative. In war, narrative often breaks. There is also hypervigilance during combat operations. Even when resting, many soldiers report sleeping lightly, waking instantly at minor sounds. The nervous system recalibrates its baseline. Silence becomes suspicious. Stillness feels temporary. And here is something almost no one considers. During active combat, many soldiers are not thinking about ideology, politics, or national identity. They are thinking about the person next to them. Unit cohesion becomes the dominant psychological anchor. The mission narrows to immediate protection of the group. Abstract patriotism fades into concrete loyalty. War becomes local. It becomes about this street, this building, this squad. Another subtle mental shift occurs in perception of self. Under extreme stress, identity simplifies. Roles become clearer. Rifleman, medic, leader. Complexity reduces. Some describe feeling more defined in combat than in civilian life, because expectations are brutally clear. Clarity can be psychologically stabilizing, even in danger. And then there is the aftermath within the moment, the quiet right after gunfire stops. Many soldiers describe a strange stillness. Sounds return slowly. Hands shake. Breathing becomes noticeable again. The body begins to process what just happened. Sometimes laughter erupts. Sometimes silence dominates. It is in that silence that thought returns, and with thought, the weight. Perhaps the most unsettling truth is this. Courage in combat rarely feels heroic. It feels necessary. Fear does not disappear. It is carried, managed, compartmentalized. The mind during war is not fearless. It is adaptive. It edits reality. It delays emotion. It narrows focus. It rewrites normal. And when the environment demands it, it becomes something highly efficient and temporarily unfamiliar to the person who lives inside it. War is not only fought with weapons. It is fought with perception, with instinct, with a brain trying to survive an environment it was never designed to endure for long. And in the middle of chaos, the most common thought is not grand or philosophical. It is simple. Stay alive. Protect the others. Make it through this minute. War changes borders. But more than that, it changes brains. It rewires instinct. It reshapes perception. It teaches the nervous system that danger is normal and silence is suspicious. And when the battlefield disappears, the internal one often remains. Tonight, we didn't talk about weapons. We didn't talk about politics. We didn't talk about strategy. We talked about the mind, about the soldier who feels time slow down while bullets move at full speed, about the strange calm that sometimes appears in chaos, about the thoughts no one imagines, the small human thoughts in the middle of something inhuman. The truth is simple. War is not just a physical conflict. It is a psychological transformation. And the most intense battles are often invisible. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is control in the presence of it. Survival is not glory. It is biology fighting to stay alive. And sometimes the strongest soldiers are the ones still fighting long after the war is over, inside their own minds. If this perspective made you think differently about war, about fear, about human nature, then this channel is for you. Here, we don't just look at events. We look beneath them. at psychology, at hidden motives, at the mechanisms inside the mind that shape history. So subscribe to the channel, because the world is loud, but the most powerful forces are often silent. And once you understand how the mind works under pressure, you never see conflict the same way again.